are you
Hi.
today?
Good.
Good. I'm Abby again.
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now, Jessie, is that correct? Okay,
yep.
great.
It's Jessie.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for seeing me. I appreciate you setting up time.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I have a question for you, though.
Absolutely.
Are you a Democrat like your company?
I wouldn't name our company a Democrat.
I read that they gave like this big donation to the Democratic Party, and
Really?
me and my family are like lifelong Republicans. So.
Oh, I haven't read that. Or I wasn't notified by our company.
Yeah.
But I usually just judge it on the candidate, so I really don't label myself one way or the other.
No.
No.
All right.
But here's my business card just for you, just for your reference if you have any other
Okay.
future questions beyond this call.
Okay.
But I have to tell you, your company is so fascinating to me. I took a defense class once.
Oh, yeah?
It was called Krav Maga. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it's an Israeli-style defense class.
Oh, okay.
And I was one of 2 females in a class of 30 people. And so then I found your company, and it would have been awesome to have some sort of company where it was all females really learning that trade.
Yeah. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. You know, just spreading that message, empowering women, whether you've never dealt with abuse or domestic violence, to prevent it, or if you have, to make you stronger and better. It's just it's my life's mission.
So how were you inspired, and where did this get its start?
Yeah, I've had some of my best friends. I've had a couple who've just dealt with different kinds of abuse and different kinds of relationships, and it just working with them and helping them really sparked me to think, gosh, a lot of people out there probably don't have the support system to come out of that.
Right.
And what about preventing it in the first place? So
Absolutely.
That's kind of where it came from.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, again, I understand you have about 20 minutes today. Is
Yeah,
that
I have a
correct?
meeting right at
Okay,
about, yeah.
perfect. So we'll have a hard stop, and I want to respect your time.
Okay.
In addition, I know we talked a little bit about ADP through Jeff, but did he translate anything about ADP to you, or?
No,
Okay.
I mean, he just kind of said, hey, you should meet with this company, just hear what they have to say.
Sure.
So, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you know about ADP?
Not much. I mean, I think you guys do payroll and process that piece, which is, a pretty simple thing that I do as well, but that's about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, just as kind of a broad overview, ADP is really a small business solution for payroll, HR, and different compliance issues to help you focus less on that back office administration and more on your people and your goals.
Yeah.
And so today what I would love to do is just learn more about Divas in Defense and see if there are any challenges that you face that ADP could potentially partner with and help find those solutions and then kind of follow up from there.
Okay.
Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. And another question, I know you have quite a leadership team, so beyond perhaps Jeff, are there other people that need to be involved in the decision-making process?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I can kind of make those decisions myself. Jeff is my partner. I do like to get his feedback.
Sure.
But it's not absolutely necessary.
Okay.
If I don't need it, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, we can go ahead and get started then.
Okay, all right.
So tell me more about your specific role in the company and what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, so, I'm the owner, so I have, I'd say 50% of my time is spent just managing the business of the business, and marketing and operations, and then, I'm kind of the face of the company too, so I've really kind of put myself on the map when it comes to just the message that we're trying to spread, and so really just trying to focus on getting that out there, and so that's what I'd like to spend the most of my time doing. But when you're an owner of a business, you got to do the other stuff too.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how many employees do you have total?
So we have 10, including myself.
Okay, 10 employees.
It's a really small shop.
Great. And you have trainers, I would imagine, as well, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And are they paid based on salary? Are they contracted? Are they hourly?
So they're contractors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And are your other employees paid salary?
Yeah, so like all the other like leaders and managers are paid salary, and then we have a receptionist who I pay hourly.
Ginger, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did meet her out there.
Okay.
She seemed very happy.
Yeah,
very
she's
excited.
great. She's great.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, how do you manage your day-to-day payroll when it comes to that?
I keep it really simple. It's not too difficult for me. I just have an Excel spreadsheet that's kind of already has all of the breakouts in it. And on Fridays, I just call everybody up, make sure they worked their 40 and input it, calculate everything, and write the checks. It's pretty much the same amount every Friday.
Okay. And how do you feel about the process in which you manage payroll?
I've managed to get it pretty simple and easy, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many hours do you spend a week managing the payroll?
Again, every week everybody works about 40 hours, so that piece of it is pretty quick. It takes me some time to track everybody down a little bit, so I'd say probably about an hour.
Just an hour?
Yeah.
Great. And with that comes a lot of HR, I would imagine. So do you cover that piece of your business as well? Okay.
Yeah.
And what are your processes like in terms of managing when people start versus end, as well as all that comes in with the different regulations and policies that are placed each year?
Yeah, I kind of play it by ear.
Okay.
I do pretty much the hiring. I mean, again, we're a small company, so I don't have to hire a lot of people, but every now and then I do have to replace a trainer.
Okay.
So I do the hiring for that. And with the regulations and HR stuff, I belong to some memberships and I keep up on the websites and they kind of send me emails when things change, and it seems to work for the size of my business as it is now.
How confident are you in your ability to follow through on those compliances and different regulations that do come through?
Honestly, a lot of that stuff is like over my head. Thankfully, I have really nice employees that, we kind of just all are on a mission and it's usually not an issue, but I have to kind of look it up and on the websites and stuff every week just to kind of stay on top of it.
And what would it mean for you if you could have access in one place to all that information on a day-to-day basis?
That would be, a little bit of a time saver, I guess. Yeah.
And how much time do you think that would save you?
I'm probably spending about another hour or two every week, just kind of trying to stay on top of it. So,
sure.
Yeah.
And also within payroll and HR, you also have the taxes. And so how does your company manage taxes right now?
So I file our taxes.
Okay.
I do have an accountant that helps me kind of on a quarterly basis. So that's kind of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like the way that process works currently?
Yeah, our accountant's cool. He's, pretty cheap and, he's always available. And, again, we're small right now, so it's not that difficult to kind of get everything through. Yeah.
Right. And you said right now, so are you hoping to grow your business?
Yeah, actually, we're looking into trying to open up a LA location.
Really? What about LA makes it the viable location?
I really just kind of wanted bookends with the coast. And, I think LA is a really good opportunity to get the word out. It seems like, if you can have some kind of a staple in a market like that you get your name out there a little bit more than any other place. So
absolutely. So with the new location, I would imagine there'd be more employees, more paperwork, and more taxes and HR compliance.
Right.
So how do you feel about that kind of up and coming world?
I'm not excited about that part.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, my passion and enthusiasm for our message is so important to me that I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what would it mean for you if I could save you time and energy and resources even in that regard, and then we could devote more of your time to spreading that passion and making sure that new location is up and running effectively?
That would be good. Yeah.
Would you be interested in seeing a product that could potentially do that for you?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to introduce you to Run ADP.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what I would recommend just hearing you, because it seems that you do spend about 1 to 3 hours a week looking at payroll and HR and compliance. While it's not a huge amount, over time that could really add up.
Yeah.
You're also looking for that new location, and with LA, that could also come new compliance and new HR regulations within state to state.
Right.
So potentially finding a place where we could put all of that information might be beneficial to you. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great. Well, just to give you a broad overview, Run ADP, again, is an application that's both mobile and desktop.
Okay.
And it really does 3 things. So first, it manages your cash, it manages your people, and it manages your risk.
Okay.
So those are kind of the 3 keywords that we stick to at ADP.
Okay.
But what I love and what I really think applies to your business is we want to see you grow. And so in my work with small businesses, ADP actually works with about 400,000 small businesses across the country in this same sort of consultant role. We notice that businesses are in one of 4 stages. So we have the startup stage, you know, things are just getting started, we're feeling okay.
Right.
We have the survival stage where it's like, oh crap, we're getting bigger. This is kind of hard.
Yeah.
We have the takeoff stage where you're starting to fire on all cylinders, but it's not quite there. And then you have that red, which is a success stage, and that's when everything is working.
Yeah.
Where do you feel right now that Divas in Defense is?
You know, I think we're in the middle of survival takeoff. I mean, I'd like to say takeoff, but, you know, we have some cash flow issues.
Sure.
So survival is still, you know, we're still kind of hanging in there. But, you know, I'd like to see us push over into the takeoff stage as quickly as possible.
Now, what cash management issues are you talking about?
You know, we're small. We only have Lisa doing the marketing right now. So she's, you know, trying to spend as much time as she can to get more clients to bring in some more revenue, but you know, honestly, I do it a little bit better than her. So I probably just need to get out there a little bit more. You know, half the time I'm doing payroll with my own personal credit cards.
Really?
So it's tough. Yeah.
And with that, have you run into any, you know, issues with credit cards bouncing or, you know, compliance and taking out the right taxes with those credit cards?
You know, I haven't yet, you know, run into anything like that, but I definitely would, you know, not like to use my personal credit
I don't blame you.
to get through payroll.
That's gotta be stressful.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Great. Well, what I really want to do is help you get from here to here. And I think Run ADP, the application I was talking about, can do those things because, one, it can help manage that payroll. So, again, it frees up your time, and you could even dabble in that marketing and drive those sales. But also, the cash management is protected under ADP, and so we make sure that we help you with those compliance issues. So, one, you can connect with a bank account, and you can make sure that that's fluid, and then you won't get, you know, dinged by any sort of accounting flaws because we try to take responsibility for that.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and show you the application. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Great. So are you good with technology?
Yeah. I mean, I would say so.
Okay.
You kind of have to be these days.
I bet. Yes. Do you have a smartphone?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an iPhone.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Go on. I was a Samsung user, but I have since changed. Yes.
The Kool-Aid.
Yes, I have. Well, again, this is Run ADP. So what are
Okay.
your first impressions of this?
You know, it looks like a normal app, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so this really is your one-stop shop.
Okay.
So from a cash management side, the first thing I want to talk about is payroll. So if you go ahead and click on that payroll button.
All right.
Yep. So this is where you'd manage your payroll. And how often do you pay your employees?
On Fridays.
On Fridays. Every week?
Mm-hmm.
So every week you'd look at this. And we have two different types of payroll. We have the regular progress, and then we have our kind of special. So if you're doing a Christmas bonus, or you know, somebody hits an awesome class and the trainers are doing great, and you want to, you know, reward them in some way, that would fall under this.
Okay.
But we'll just, for the sake of time, look at the regular.
Okay.
So you want to click on regular?
All right.
Excellent. So then what this does is retrieve that date. So it's perfect because it is a week to week. Now, do you use direct deposit at all for your employees?
No, I just write them out some checks.
Okay, sounds good. So you can turn that off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you go to resume.
All right.
And this is a list of all of your employees. Not your real employees, but just example ones.
Okay.
So if you go ahead and click on Matthew Baxter.
All right.
Yeah, right at the top.
Oops.
That's okay.
The wrong one.
That's all right. We can work with Clean Office.
Okay.
You can also put vendors in here. So if you're starting to work with different vendors in the new location, say a construction company, you can pay them through that as well through this.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound interesting to you?
Yeah, definitely.
And what's great about this is you can look at all kinds of things, from if you have to pay anybody in advance, what taxes need to be taken out, and what their hourly rate is.
Okay.
So you can input all this information on the front end if you want to, if it's more consistent and standard, or you can do it right here. Just depending on what your comfort level is.
Okay.
But if we go back and we look at, oops, I apologize. If we look at an actual person, you'll also see if they have sick time, if they have regular hours. So you said, you know, everybody has those 40, and if you want to track that more efficiently, you can do that in the system.
Okay.
Vacation hours, deductions for any sort of health insurance. Do you supply health insurance for your staff?
Only so like the trainers are contract, so you know myself and Jeff and Lisa, like we get benefits.
Sure.
But the rest don't. Yeah.
Perfect. So you can manage that in here.
Okay.
So what would it mean to you to manage the 10 employees all in one location?
It'd be good. I mean, it's kind of like that now with my spreadsheet.
Your Excel sheet, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah. So if you go ahead and push preview.
Okay.
And then calculate.
All right.
And then OK. So this is what your bank needs to have in the bank in order to pay your staff.
Okay.
So if you continue paying with your credit cards, that's what your credit card needs to have.
Hope not.
Yes, I hope not. But what's great is we work directly with banks as well. So once you get set up in there, they'll see that removal and it'll be just fine.
Okay.
But if you go ahead and push approve, and then approve, and okay, so you just processed your payroll.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of how much time that took?
A lot less time than it normally takes me. But how do their hours put in there? Like, how do we know? Do I just put 40 for them?
You can just put 40,
okay.
And if you want to too, there's a salary tab, and so if that's noted, then we input their overall salary, and that divides based on every pay period.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Pretty simple. Yeah.
And what's great too is that we actually write the checks for you, so you don't have to write the checks for 10 people anymore, or keep that on hand.
Okay.
Would that make your life a little easier?
Yes, yeah, okay. Definitely.
The other thing that I think is really important to you too is you're opening a new location. So again, there's more people coming in. So we have an HR solution. So if you go ahead and put on more.
All right.
This is all of our HR. And so this is just to help you as a resource get started. So right now, do you do a lot of training with your new trainers, or do they come in ready to go?
They kind of come in ready to go. I mean, we have to train them a little bit on our philosophy and on, they do have to get certified. So there's a whole certification process that they have to go through, and we have to be pretty particular about the whole background process and all of that. But yeah, so there are a few steps when they come on.
And we can help you manage those steps in here. So if you go ahead and click on HR Checkup.
All right.
This is a list of all of the best practices, if you will, within the category of human resources.
Okay.
So you mentioned background checks. So if you click on this, you can see all the best practices, and we can guide you through that process as you're bringing on new employees.
Oh, okay.
What would that mean for your business if you had, someone holding your hand a little bit so you didn't have to worry about the regulations?
I mean, it's a lot easier than me spending time looking it up,
Right.
So, yeah.
And I think, again, there's a lot more within this piece, but for the sake of time, I'll go ahead and move on to the reports. So the reports here are really nice as well, because you mentioned issues with cash management. So at any point in time, you can run a report for a certain time, and you can see exactly what you paid. So if you have any issues with employees complaining about not getting paid or hours, you always can look back on it real time.
Okay.
What do you think so far about the whole application?
I think it's good. I mean, it's pretty slick. I mean, obviously ADP knows what they're doing. I just, we're such a small company, and it seems like this is probably what large companies use, something so cool and advanced from a technology perspective. We're just so small.
Sure.
I don't know that we need something so big.
You're concerned it won't fit your exact company. Is
yeah,
that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just, we're a tiny little company.
Right.
Right now, maybe when we get bigger, this is something that would be useful. Yeah.
And I'm really glad you brought that up, Jessie, because I get that a lot, honestly, with the work with small companies. But again, I'm a small business consultant, and so I work with half of my clients are your size business.
Oh, really?
And what's great is it allows you to keep hold of that size of the business, because as a small business, you're also strapped for resources sometimes. When, of course, you're doing 8 different things in the business, and you're trying to own, and you're trying to do this, and trying to move. So we give you the flexibility to not ever have to look at this side as much and spend more time in that arena.
Okay.
Does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
And I also have actually a lot of testimonials from smaller companies. Actually, Marcus's Construction right here is just next door, and they have 15 employees, and they use us. So I'll leave that with you as well, just as a reference.
Good to know.
Yes. So what other concerns do you have about the product?
I mean, I think you addressed them. The product looks great.
Okay.
So, it's probably expensive.
Let me break down the price for you. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
So this is the price here. And so what we do is we bill you based on how many times you process your pay period or your paychecks. So because you do weekly, it would be 52 times we would charge you. And you're dealing with 10 employees. And we charge you based on location. But right now, you're all at one location. So we would charge you this $48.95 bracket, because I think in your part of the business you're working in HR, so it would be beneficial to include that at the start, and we could always backtrack. But what that would be just on an annual basis, so you can have access to that. Okay. It's about $2,500. What does that cost look like to you?
I mean, any cost right now is tricky.
Yep.
So, I don't know, something I have to think about.
And I think if you think about the amount of time you spend on these things, it's 3 hours a week for 52 weeks. That's 156 hours.
Yeah.
Could you grow your business on 156 hours more?
Yeah, I'm sure I could.
Okay.
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, and I think if you put a dollar value to those hours, you can see a huge dollar amount, and will save you that time or that money in human resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want me to come in next week and look at implementation?
Yeah, I mean, I see $150 implementation.
There isn't.
Can I get waived since I just have 9 employees? I mean, what's
not
there to
yet,
implement?
not yet. But why don't I come by next week and just talk more detail? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that
Perfect.
works.
And I'll break that down for you.
Okay.
So Tuesday at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jessie.
Thank you.
I was watching the time. I was like,
I know.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
And what's your name?
Congratulations. I'm Billy.
Nice to meet you. I'm Abby.
Nice to meet you. You did a great job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Do you want your card too?
Oh, you can keep it. You're
okay.
totally fine.
All right, cool.
Excuse